Welcome back to the Goon Cave. Today's episode will only be with me, Evan. Lucas is not able to make it today, but today's episode is a little bit different than what we usually see. After the great crash of the OV-10 Bronco, as we can see here, this carnage, I went to the local Dollar Tree buys and picked up about a full box, 20 sheets of foam board, and I'm going to be building something a little bit different. A while back ago, I created an aircraft called the IFO, the Identified Flying Object. So here we are again, getting back at it, and we're going to be making another one. So the design is not conventional, as we can see. We have a disc circle wing thing, I'd call it, mixed with some other just glorious design features, such as this disc, another circular wing, and a forward swept canard setup. The aircraft is going to actually be single engine. I'm going to put an extra fuselage right in between this zone right here and just have one motor. But if that still fails and I don't like it, I'm actually going to grab the two motors off of the OV-10 Bronco and stick them on the two pylons, which we see here. So today I'm going to give you guys the breakdown on how I'm going to build this. For the dimensions, as of right now, we're going to go about, I'm thinking, actually I have no clue. I'm thinking maybe 60 to 80 inch long. I'm going to go 80 inch. Yeah, 80 inch long with a...
I don't know, maybe a 60 inch wingspan?
So the first step to the process of making this absolutely cursed plane is actually going to be tracing out the side of the fuselage. So you can see there's your simple intake system. It's going to have a little landing gear trace off right here because towards the back is where that big giant 20-inch circle is going to be right about here. That's going to boost this entire thing all the way up to 80-inch long, which, I mean, is an average Evans scale. I wouldn't even call it Evans scale. It's micro Evans scale. But I'm going to mirror this onto this other part of the sheet, and then I'm going to repeat the process again on another two sheets. And then I will show you guys how I can connect all of it to make those pylons, which we see on the actual main plane's design. Which is rather simple if you ask me. It's actually only going to be about 2 inch wide, 2 or 3 inch wide. I don't actually know just yet. And then I'll show you guys how to make the wing and the rest from there. The process that takes the longest is actually making the two fuselages, which I'm going to grill out real quick. And to my friend Lucas, who's also on this YouTube channel, who's probably watching this video right now thinking, Evan, what are you doing? Just shut up. And boom, just like that, we got 8 foam board copies of these. I know this doesn't look right, but you guys get the gist. It's just stacked. So now I'm just going to add a little marginalization, and you guys are going to see the insane, super high-tech device that I'm going to use on this intake. It's something the world has never seen. It goes by the name of Scotch tape. Yeah. But the entire plane is actually going to be used and glued together via hot glue with that insane hot glue gun. We just love the look of this thing. It's incredible. The brick I got a swap meet. Alright, let's move to the next part of making the two fuselages. So I've now created some 3-inch strips that I'm going to professionally use to attach to these, and I'm just going to hot glue it all together. So I'll show you guys what it looks like once I glue them all together, and we'll go from there. And just like that, these two incredibly strange shaped fuselages are almost finished. I just have to glue and seal them, make sure everything lines up. As we can see here, I added a little tiny outtake of zone for these, the airflow inside of the wing and the aircraft to go through, because it's going to have two motors, one at the top there, one right there, and right there. The airflow is going to flow down into this little intake and get spit out. But of course, there's still some extra airflow, so that's going to go over the top. And if there's still a little bit less or more air, it can go out the back. And that's just to ensure that this plane doesn't try to rip itself apart midair. I'm going to seal these up, and then I'm going to show how I make what I call the crack airfoil wing. And just like that, these two fuselages are fully designed. easy to do. So the aircraft's wing is going to span out here with that forward swept, and then it's going to have that ring wing go right about there, and then the big giant kind of like cylinder wing in the back. And that's going to have a small little, another circular wing inside. Not going to have any crack airfoil. The other two airfoils is actually going to be on the outer wing on the back, and the front canard wing as well. So it's technically going to have 4 wings, and that disc in the back, that cylinder, is, honestly, I have no clue what it's going to do. I just thought the design looked cool. Here's the design for that frontal canard wing. I know it doesn't look like it, but once I cut it out, I'll represent how it's supposed to form. Basically, you're looking at one frontal canard. You're just going to have to flip that over, rotate it, and they're both going to face forward. That's going to get slapped on the front of this thing. I have no clue how this is going to fit in my car, but that's an issue for later in life. So right here is that new canard frontal wing, that forward swept. I just have to make the crack airfoil for it, which I will represent how to do. So what you're actually going to do is you're just going to get the ruler, and you're just going to line it up like so. Because forward swept, I have no clue how much it should be. I'm going to go right there. You're just going to draw a line along that and copy the exact same on that side, and then you're going to cut it, put a little glue in the middle, and fold it over, which I'll show you how to do in just a second. So basically, you have your airfoil right here. Crack it down just about there. You're going to add some glue into the center of that seam. And there you go. And then you're just going to glue it to the other wing at that exact same angle. And that's how you do the crack airfoil. It's pretty easy. Like that, there's your crack airfoil forward swept canard. It's actually not really a canard, it's more of just an entire wing, but it's fine. And just like that, this strange aircraft is starting to take shape. You can see here's your wing, the frontal wing for that matter, and now I'm going to make that internal circle ring wing. So if we come over here and take a quick look at the design. The design is very human. So we have this ring here in the center. So it's going to be 16-inch long, 16-inch long. And I just have to space it out to where it's going to begin here and end all the way probably right where my foot is, right at the end. It's going to be very long, but it's actually just for center support. It doesn't really generate any lift. I can add a small crack airfoil onto it if I wanted to, but I don't know if I will. And then we're going to have to add that little crossbar, and then this wing on the end, I'm not going to make it circular. I'm actually just going to make it probably triangular. Just 2 angular crack airfoil wings connected to make just a little triangle, and yeah. So this isn't, this isn't pure sketch off detail. This is literally just a guesstimation. But I just want to make sure I get this in the back. Now on here you can see I had vertical, kind of like buttresses I call them. That's kind of what I'm gonna do again, but I'm just gonna have like a fishtail rudder shoot up on both sides. And then I'm just going to have the circle attached there. And that circle is going to be 20-inch long. So that's going to boost us that 80-inch limit that I wanted. And make this thing even larger. Because why not? And I'll keep you guys updated. I'll slap down that circle. I don't really know how I'm going to do the circle thing. It's going to be a bunch of guesstimation eyeballing. So I just know that it has to be 16-inch wide. And that's about it. I don't really know what to do from there, so I'll figure that out. So here we are. We're back. I have created the outer wings. I couldn't really make them circular, which is fine. I don't really care as long as it's a wing. And yeah, so that's what it kind of looks like as of right now. It's pretty basic, pretty easy, pretty simple. I say that as this thing looks not normal at all. And yeah, so now I have to make the circular wing on the tail section after I do a couple little glide tests. And yeah, here by the elevator, I'm thinking about trimming this and cutting it flat, just like a giant bar, instead, so that I can just have a normal elevator, and then, just ailerons, I'm supposing. I actually have no clue. We're gonna figure that out later. That's a later problem. But now it's time for that cylinder in the back. So I don't actually want it to be a perfect circle. So I don't know if it's going to have enough thrust, but basically there's going to be a little battery compartment that goes right here, all along there. And that's where that 4-cell, those 2 4-cell batteries are going to sit. And that strange wing that you see there, It's just kind of a rendition of the circular wing, but you can see it's not level. So there's that one that's at a higher level than that, but it's angled to where it's going to generate a little bit more lift along the trailing edge than the leading edge. Yeah, I don't know. It was kind of more of a guesstimation, but I just did the glide test, and she glides really nicely. She likes to swirl around to one direction, but of course that's because there's no rudder stabilization going on. Once I get that circle on the back, I'm going to put 2 rudders inside of there that's going to hold up that circle to make it possible, and I'll show you guys what that looks like right now. So I've bent the top wing half right now, the top circle. I ended up putting it inside the fuselage to keep it 60 inch. So instead of being 80 inch long, it's 60 inch, which is fine. So as of right now, it's a 60 inch wingspan, 60 inch length. Yeah, this thing is a beast. Just like that, the oval wing has been completed. And, well, let's flip her over and see what she looks like. Well, you may not understand what you're looking at, which is good, because, well, that's the entire point of the design. So there we go. That's what we got so far. I'll make a future video on how to get the electronics in this sucker. And yeah, so the plan is she's actually going to be VTOL, meaning she's going to sit up vertically on that circle wing, which I will. So she's going to sit up straight like this, with the motors pointed at the air, up in the air, and we're going to just full throttle and send it into the air, and that's how we're going to actually take off with her. Let me give you a walk around at this view. And there we go.